Today in today's session, what we are trying to discuss is that how uh, the software, the telephony, and workflows all come together in a contact center to make this technology do what it's supposed to do. Okay. So as we also seen yesterday, that it's a mix of hardware and software. So we will see how they are working together. Right. So what makes up a contact center system? Now, one thing is that our focus right now is more on call. Obviously, when we are talking about a contact center system in which we are talking about WhatsApp messaging or chat, etc., etc. So there will be some additional components, but right now uh, we are focusing more on voice technology. Okay. So we will need a contact center software. Contact center software will be a software that is developed by some company, some organization. Then we will need telephony. So telephony is that enterprise telephony that allows people who are using their office phones to reach and connect with people who are using mobile phones. So today, most of our customers are on mobile phones only, whether they are in India or outside. And most of our office calls will be on the enterprise telephony that is a part of that office. These telephony systems allow us to kind of make these calls uh, from our office to these mobile phones and vice versa. Then we also need some kind of a call routing engine or a workflow or a call flow. So how the call will come in, how the call will reach to the agent and so on. And similarly, when agents will dial out, how these calls go out and they connect with the mobile phone. We will also need something called an agent desktop. So agent desktop is a very important component of contact center software because you really want agents to have some screen in front of them. It can also be a mobile app, not a big thing. From there, we can see which customer is calling, which customer we want to call. We can see some information about the customer. In some cases, these agent desktop are also integrated with the full-fledged CRM software. So agent desktop might not be the full-fledged CRM software, and in some cases it can be. Then we will have this monitoring tools, control tools, configuration tools, and everything. That is all the contact center system. So if we want to see, if we see this from a perspective of a hardware software kind of a thing, so this is how these components will look like. So somewhere there will be an application server. This can be a separate physical machine, or all these components can also be on the same physical machine. But idea is these are different services. In large setup, obviously all these things will be separate machines. So we will have an application server, control server, CRM server, application database server. Then agent UI is there, agent phone is there, call server is there, telephony service provider is there, and customer phone is there. Okay. So if you see that this particular leg, this is represented in a blue color. So this is what is the part of the call. Okay. Uh, so all the components that are handling the call, voice call, they are kind of different components. Today we have a concept of soft phone also. So your agents might be using a soft phone or what I should say a software which can handle the call, right? And it talks to the call server. Call server in turn is talking to the application server. So there are API integrations or CTI integrations between them. And these all basically are connecting to each other. Obviously, IP connectivity is needed, but they are communicating with each other through some messages, through some calls, some API calls, etc., etc. So and all these components actually work together to make a contact center system do what it's supposed to do. Okay. As I have again said that we are not going deep into the backend technology, but we're just trying to understand it from a say top level perspective. So normally we also say that there are three layers in which the contact center setup is done. This is one way of seeing it. So one layer is our application layer, where we are talking about call servers, not call servers, but application servers, CRM servers, control server. So control server is the name that I have given it. You can just assume that it is a server which is providing some control and management application. Then the second layer will be our calling layer, where we are talking about the call server, the telephony trunk, the telephony service providers. And the last layer is our agent and agent phone. Okay. So each layer has its own role. The application layer is handling the logic and integration. The telephony layer handles the voice and media, and the agent layer is handling where the interaction actually happens, right? So we can also see this, the components of the functional layers of the contact center in this manner. Anywhere, wherever you are having this contact center set up, these three layers will be present. Uh, it might be that these layers are very large or very small, depending upon the size of the contact center setup. If we go next level into understanding all these components separately, so TSP or telco, normally this is our telephony service provider. These are the people who provide the telephony channels. In mostly these are the same companies that are providing you the mobile phone or mobile SIM card. Software server is a contact center software server. This is the application that someone has designed. This is actually the brain of your entire thing. Okay, all the logic, all the configurations, all the nitty-gritties that you are going to set up. This is where all the logic will remain. Database server is a database server for every application. It stores all the information. Whatever you are configuring, everything goes into the database. Your call records, your historical data, all these things are going into your database. There is a concept of a soft switch, or we also call it a call server. So this is basically the device. It can be a PBX, it can be a call server, it can be a normal server. This is where your call handling happens, right? So your telephony lines come in and they terminate onto your call server or soft switch or a PBX, and then from there they are routed to the agent phone, as we had seen in the diagram. There are two more components like PBX and media gateway, which we will discuss at a later stage. But both of these devices also they may or may not be needed in the setup, and they also facilitate how the calls from the telco are being reach the agents. Okay, these are additional devices that might be there in the setup, but not mandatory. Then we have agent systems, and we have agent desktop on those. So these are today these are some web interfaces. Like these are basically connecting with the contact center software, okay, and receiving the messages, the input from there. Then we will have agent phone extensions, as this is where your agents will speak to the customers. These can be hard phones or these can be soft phones. Soft phones, if you have seen or not seen, but these are simple applications that you can install on your PC itself, like any software. Then we can have CRM server and CRM database server. So these are where the customer relationship management software. So all the customer information is basically stored here. And when the agent is talking to the customer, this CRM will allow him to know more about the customer, have the complete background information, historical information, so that they can interact with the customer. So all these components are described here, right? So, and this is kind of defining them. A typical call that happens, say an incoming call in a system, right? So it will be like customer on a SIP trunk, then call server, it will be the IV or queue and the agent. So you might have experienced this, that when you call to a bank or a service provider, You are received by an interactive voice response. You select multiple options over there. At some point of time, it will give you an option to reach the agent, and from there, you will be able to connect with the person with you with whom you want to speak to. This is typically a inbound call. An outbound call will be similar to this, but yes, in outbound call, different logics will apply, which we will see in a later stage. Uh, Again, obviously, these contact center systems are integrated with external systems. As I've told you, we can integrate with the CRM or with a ticketing system, with a payment gateway, or a SMS or email API. So, though we have not explicitly shown everything, but most modern contact center connect with external systems. Uh, so this basically can allow more features, more functionality, and more usability for the agents as well as the customers. One another aspect of looking at our contact center technology is how they are deployed. Okay, so all these components, when we talk about contact center technology, so you assume that all these things that you are able to see here, right? One, two, three, four, five. These you can say these are server side what do you say components. So either we can deploy these components on the premise, like in my if I have a small business, I can just bring in two, three servers. I can bring in a contact center technology provider, and he will configure everything there itself. And this is an in-house setup. Okay. In a large setup or today, because cloud has become very popular, we have public cloud call centers. Okay. Normally, this is called CCC. Okay. Cloud contact center or a hosted contact center in which all these components are put on the cloud, like Azure or AWS, etc. We can have them in a hybrid mode also. So we can also put them on data centers. We can have some components on the cloud and some components on the local office. Like in India, it is a restriction that your telephony servers have to be local telephony servers are needed. So normally you are not able to put your call servers in the cloud. So we have a hybrid kind of setup also where application servers remain on the cloud, whereas the telephony servers or the call servers are local. Okay, so all these permutation combinations are possible. So in premise, we have more security, we have more control. We don't have a reliance on internet for calling. Whereas uh, in cloud setup, it can be a quick deployment. They are easily scalable, and we can access them from anywhere. Hybrid is a mix of those. So basically, it's a balance of both on-premise and cloud. In We will understand more about these deployments in subsequent slides or in the next topic, next module. Uh, so this is how typically your on-premise model will look like. So this can be our server room in which we will put all these servers. We will integrate these different APIs and different services. Maybe these services again can be hosted within our organization or they can be external services. So we will then integrate using so we will be connecting to the internet and then to that we can connect with the SMS API. Similarly, this telephony service provider will come in, they will put their lines in your office and those lines will go to the call server. And obviously there will be agent flow. So this is a typical on-premise deployment model. So this is what will the cloud model look like. Obviously, this is not the exact picture, but the idea I am trying to represent. So there is a cloud thing. This is in the cloud somewhere in a data center. All these things are put there. Even your telephony lines are terminated in the cloud itself. Now using the internet, these people from anywhere. Now the beauty of cloud is that these agents can be in Delhi, Mumbai. You can be at your home. You can all be able to connect with these services and carry out your day-to-day tasks. Okay. And obviously hybrid. Hybrid is where we are saying that our telephony remains local, right? Even our CRM can be local, okay? In some cases like banks where we store sensitive information, we might not put our CRM on cloud or, data center. We might have that in our office itself. So it depends what kind of setup we want, and this can become your hybrid. So all the main services remain application services, as we discussed the application layer, right? Remains in the cloud. Your telephony layer comes in your local office, and your agent layer also comes in your local office, right? So this is about the basic architecture and deployment of a call center component. Uh, Now we will discuss some of the like interfaces that these contact centers are providing. Obviously, from every episode, so today we will have say hundreds of contact center service providers. Each will be a different interface. So I am just representing a VICIdial contact center solution, and this is your VICIdial GoAutoDial. These are two open source contact center softwares that are available. So if you want to set up a contact center and you don't want to spend money on the software, you can actually procure these are open source. You can bring them in. You will need some expertise on installing them, setting them up. Okay. If you have them, then you can do it on your own, or you can bring in some person. So once you do that, once everything is set up, so this is one typical administration screen of a VICIdial. You can see there are all these things available: reports, users, campaigns. So you will go to users and create a user over there, create a campaign, create a list. List is a lead list. Normally, script is the IVR script, right? Filters, inbound calls, user group, and so on. You can also see the live status. So it says the campaign name and it says that these are default. So at what time the dialing should start, at what time it should end, and so on. All these are configurations. This is not, as you can see, it is not a very refined UI. Today, when you talk about user interfaces, today's user interfaces are very refined, but because it's open source, they have not really spent that much effort on that. Similarly, this is a screen of an agent. You can see from here, these options are there. So this is something also called the pop-up or a script. So normally what is happening is as soon as the call connects, right, your this area, you will see customer information. This is not a full-fledged CRM, right? But contact center software also have this kind of a UI so that at least if the call comes, agent can at least say that, okay, am I speaking with Nikhil, or am I speaking with Mohit, or am I speaking with Anshuman or someone? And then he has some basic information also. Okay. Uh, then this script thing is where you can actually give a pre-written lines that the agent should speak with the customer, right? So there can be a greeting message. There can be normally in sales calls we call it a pitch, right? So all these things can come in, and similarly there will be different screens for different interfaces uh, for administrators, for supervisors, for team leads or QA. And depending upon which contact center software you are using, you will have those screens. So, summary, what you should now understand is what components make up the system, how a call flow flows through the backend layers, how software integrates with telephony, and why deployment model matters. Okay.